If you're building a purpose-driven business and didn't quite hit the mark, well, you're not alone and I'm right here with you. Imagine looking back 3 months from now and realizing that this was the exact moment that you stopped scrambling for every dollar and started building a business that actually supports you. I've been really transparent about my journey, and well, this month I didn't hit my mark financially. In this video, I'm breaking down what exactly happened in this month of January, where I went wrong, and the systems that I am putting in place so that this doesn't become my new normal. The purpose of me developing this channel wasn't to seem like everything is gonna go perfectly as planned, or to even share wild goals if I didn't have any means to achieve it. I have this big vision that I've been sitting on of going from $0 to $10 million, and now I finally have a structure to how to make it sustainable and really grow that. And I wanted to share my journey along the way of making that happen so I can let you know that this is possible. But at the end of the day, it comes with hiccups. And this month, well, I really didn't hit my mark for the month of January. I had a lot of plans for this month. I had a contract that I had applied for that I thought, because of the referral, I had really good chances of getting it. I had a job offer. I don't even want to say job offer. I had a job interview that looked promising, and different avenues of ways for me to get my income and my cash flow going again. Well, I didn't get the contract, and I didn't even hear back for the job interview. So a lot of my plans for cash flow really disappeared in a blink of an eye. I'm sharing this with you not because it's the pretty side of business, but really because I want to share with you the real process of what it takes to grow your business to scale. And trust me, it's not an easy one to take. I'm sure you heard a lot of entrepreneurs say you work, many times without getting paid. And that could be a month, 2 months, hopefully no longer than that. But the reality is you just don't know exactly when you're going to get paid until you continue to create a system that rinses and repeats. And right now I'm in that process of building and scaling out that system. I put a lot of effort into visioning and imagining and getting down to the specifics of what it takes to fulfill my life's goal, and figuring out a way to sustain that has been one of my biggest challenges. Between making the deliberate decision to only spend 1 hour on the road doing deliveries to make my $160 a week and chasing this contract, the one thing that I can say about what this month taught me was to not chase the small dollar to make it through today or even make it to tomorrow. It was sitting down and realizing what it's going to take. And I realized, as uncomfortable as it is to put my worries aside of making an extra dollar today on the altar of being able to make millions later, this is what it's going to take. We're going to have financial misses, and that's okay, because this is part of the process. And trust, it's going to make me so very grateful as I continue to imagine what it felt like being in this position and knowing that I don't ever have to be in it again. But that's what building these systems are for, so that you can have the proper procedures in place to continue to scale your business. I am eternally grateful that I have the support system in my life to be able to miss my mark financially and still be lifted. I was really afraid to share this, but I need to give you the real on what it's been like for me. I've shared before that I've had plenty of financial insecurities growing up, and asking for help, particularly when it comes to money, has always been difficult because it made me feel like a failure. It made me feel like I am irresponsible and don't have the right things in place to sustain myself. And it really made an impact on my relationship in a lot of ways, because my identity and this wrestling feeling of having to have everything together and putting on this facade was debilitating me in a lot of ways, and making me not a good human, and making me emotionally unavailable, or rather avoidant in many ways. And I really had to come to terms and open myself up to what that means and how I need to continue to open up about where I'm at. I came to my partner to let him know, hey, I didn't get the contract, I didn't get the job, and I don't know what's gonna happen for this month. I did several jobs over the last few months that I didn't get paid for, and I'm sitting here wondering what went wrong. But more than anything, it's just, you can't control the things that aren't in your control at the end of the day. I'm so glad that he told me that it's okay, that I'm not a burden, and that he's here to help, because if that wasn't the case, well, would I have a roof over my head next month? I don't know. And would I feel comfortable laying my head down at night? Probably not. I would be more stressed than ever. But coming to the acceptance earlier on this year that I am willing to sit through this uncomfortability to be able to grow and scale my business with the proper systems as opposed to chasing a dollar, that in itself helped me sleep at night and really take advantage of what the routine that I need to establish now, even with the little that I have, to not burn myself out and still have the capacity, the brain capacity, emotional capacity, and physical capacity to perform at the highest scale, even if the dollars aren't coming in right now. This really was, I don't even want to call it a battle, because I've surpassed the point of battling this idea of forcing my way through and pushing my way through, because there's a fine line between momentum and just sheer force, and wanting to have that organic, authentic momentum and not feeling like I am coming from the struggle bus, or feeling like I am seeking out business out of a form of desperation. Having that now, in having to come to terms with that now when it does feel like the stakes are so much higher, has prepared me for any other moment of denial or no, or not having the right kind of business, because I've been here before with much less. So again, imagining what it'll be like 3 months from now when I'm no longer in this position is what continues to keep me going, because I know I put the right systems in place and took the right steps to even get there, so this doesn't become my normal. While internally I am at peace with where I'm at, I know where I'm going, and even though there's moments where I feel lost in what exactly is happening and how to make sense of everything, I've come to accept that not everything is meant to be figured out in the exact moment in time, and it's going to reveal itself one way or another in due time, as long as I continue to take the right steps forward. And that has been my North Star of peace in this last month, is I know what I'm putting in place right now. I know what I need to do to continue to move forward. And I also have been made fully aware over and over again that the reward isn't going to come immediately, but that's what makes it so much sweeter. It makes me realize how grateful I am to even be a part of this journey, to now go forward and say, this isn't going to be forever. I know it's not, because I have been putting in the work. With all that being said, I do still need to be realistic in my delusional form of everything's going to be all right. A little bit of delusion isn't always a bad thing, but I do need to lock in coming into the month of February, so that, again, I can make my way out of the financial situation that I'm in now, to be above it and, move beyond it in ways that I can now live my life sustainably in a new way. The first lesson that I learned is to not force the grind and rather architect the game. In this world building phase, it's important to know that you are the one putting the pieces in place to shape the life that you want to have. Taking a beat to build systems instead of constantly scrambling is what helped me stay emotionally grounded throughout what feels like a very volatile time, this is the most peace that I felt with the least amount of money in my pocket. And I have to continue to stress that, because again, if this was even 2 months ago, I would be in peril and feel like everything is falling apart. But again, because I took the time to build out systems that will pay off in the long run, I would much rather see the long-term game and imagine the gain that I will get, because I've done my homework, I've done the research, and I know the numbers of where I will be. It's just, I can't put a time on God's timing. That's not my responsibility. But what I do know is I've mapped everything out to be able to get there. Lesson number 2 is knowing my 3 lanes of stability. At least in the meantime, like I said, I've been doing 1 hour of deliveries. That's kept me grounded in my baseline income so that I could put gas in my car, pay my car note, because if I don't have the car, then I really don't have any money to make, at least for now, until I grow my business in this world. And just ensuring that I can cover what I need to make it to tomorrow without making my whole life revolve around that. The second is my growth lane. I know, again, exactly what's being built out through my AI products, through the Mind Economy series, through ICO Visions, and this YouTube channel. I mean, growing and being a part of this journey has helped me strengthen my communication, continue to refine and fine tune what needs to take place for me to better deliver my message to people, and inspire everyone out there in the YouTube world that you can come from anywhere and still be at everything you imagined your life to be. Like, this isn't something that's restricted to the lucky few. It is possible for all of us to take the right steps and get to where we want to go. And then the last lane is the clarity lane. So knowing exactly what I'm building, whether that's consulting, workshops, my digital products, and crafting the right offers that can actually help people. Because I came from a place of feeling like I know what's missing in my life, so I'm sure this is something that's missing in other people's lives. Well, now that I found that, that's a good thing, but how can I fine tune that in a way to help more people? And it's bigger than me. I think remembering that it is bigger than me and being obsessed over what's missing has helped me create clarity in the lanes that I am now building. Finally, the third lesson is resting as a strategy. I used to push everything and everyone to the side and say, I have to get something done before I can rest or take time with my family, take time with my friends, take time with my partner. And my partner is the one that hit me the hardest with this, because he would be frustrated that I'm not taking a moment to rest. And he saw the burnout before I did. And he had to be real cutthroat with me on how that's impacted our relationship, how that's impacted the way that I even work and flourish and allow my creativity to thrive. And I took that to heart, because I didn't want these, if I can control ways to have less low moments in my relationship, and knowing that the energy that space brings me is what brings me the joy to continue to create, I'm gonna listen to what he has to say. And this year I made the decision of, rather than forcing myself to continue to work, I'm gonna take a beat. I'm gonna take a break. Even yesterday, he offered to go on a walk while I was in the middle of a big presentation that's due today. And I'm not quite done yet, but even yesterday, old me would have said, no, I have to sit in front of my computer for the next several hours until it's done. I have to complete this all in one sitting, in one session. But for the first time, I said, yeah, let's go on a walk. And the way my mind began to flow as a result of that is no better feeling, because as soon as I got back, I got way more done than I probably would have if I would have sat my butt down and just be bitter and angry that I can't go on this walk because I have this task to complete. No, it's finding the balance between it all, and resting is a huge part of that. Even last night, I got a lot done, and typically I would have pulled an all-nighter to get everything done in one sitting and be irritated and frustrated. But what good does that do? It doesn't expand and open up your mind to think in different ways to approach your strategy in a way that can actually sustain your business. You think that you're sustaining yourself, but you're burning yourself out, and we don't want that. Like, how can I build out a business that supports me and not the other way around? Even though I have been conflicted between what am I going to do about tomorrow, I'm so fortunate to have the support system around me to be able to continue to grow my business, especially, and more importantly, have belief in me that what I'm building is going to take us in the right direction. And that's really a huge part of it, having the right people around you to say, I believe in what you're doing. And it's so exciting to know that we are taking the right steps to be able to do that. I wrote the Visionary Readiness Handbook and Unlocking Business Consciousness for people, including myself, to bridge the gap between vision and reality. I'm fortunate to have been able to develop a clear vision and roadmap for where I'm going so that I could be clear and grounded in turbulent moments like this, because it wasn't for that, I would probably be in shambles. If you're in that didn't hit the mark season and you're looking for clarity over your next 30 to 60 days, I'm offering a free 30-minute call to map out your vision, your income lanes, and your next steps. Thank you all again for being a part of the journey with me. Thank you for seeing the vision that I'm building, and I hope that I can help you build your vision out too and inspire you to know that these moments are forever. We're not gonna always hit the mark. We're gonna hit the nail right on the head in due time. I'll see you in the next video.